Jane Wood Worley Peak. They were from the Middle West. And it was when my father graduated from Iowa State College in Ames, and he started work in New York City 3 days after he graduated. And the first time he had a real vacation, he went back to Iowa and married my mother. He'd been asking her for some time, but she was having such a good time that she kept putting off getting married. I can't understand that, but that's what she said. And finally he said, "This is the last time I'm going to ask you. You marry me now or it's all over with." And she got married, and they went to New York. And then from there to a town in Pennsylvania, I can't think of the name of it, where there was part of the rubber company factory, and then to Naugatuck, Connecticut. And the rubber plant in Naugatuck was really the income for the whole town of Naugatuck. Everybody in Naugatuck worked for United States Rubber Company. And my mother had many friends in Naugatuck for a good long time. Well, there never was a decision that was made. I was always going to go to college. The only question was where, and it took me a long time to make up my mind. And I finally decided. Oh dear, can't remember the name of it now. In Pennsylvania, and we went down to Pennsylvania and had an interview, and learned then that the period for application is long since closed. That was out of the question. So I went back, and I had a good friends who went to Connecticut College, and had always had that in the back of my mind. So I went to Connecticut, and was very happy there. It was a good school, and I was very glad I went there. My freshman year, I lived in a dormitory right on the highway. Here's the Thames River, as it's called there. And here was my dormitory, and my room right up here. But across the river, and there was the sub base. And I saw a good many submarines going down the river. I never saw any coming back. I don't know how they got back. Must have been at night when it was dark. But I saw an awful lot of subs going down the river. And I dated. I was home one weekend visiting my family in Connecticut. My mother had invited her niece, my cousin, from Iowa to come and live with her. She was a long-distance telephone operator in the days when that was a pretty important job, and she was a good one. She had no trouble transferring her job from where she was living in Cedar Rapids to New Haven. She had a friend come visit her, and it happened to be the same weekend that I was home, so I met him. And he was an enlisted man at the sub base. He had a motorcycle, and he took me out for a motorcycle ride. The next day I was summoned in to see our dean, and she said, "You were out on a motorcycle last night." Yes, he was. "Where'd you meet this man?" That was not good. But as soon as I said that I'd met him in my home with my parents there, that was all right. As long as it wasn't a pickup, it was all right. But that didn't last very long. I didn't have very many dates with him. I had a terrible time making my mind up about a major. In fact, I had 4 majors. I changed every year. Started out as math, and I thought, what can I do with a math major? There's nothing I can do with that except teach, and I don't think I'm going to be a good teacher. So I switched to something else, and then something else, and ended up in psychology, which I enjoyed very much. And I'd always taken all the necessary courses all along, so when I finally switched my major in my senior year, I could do it without any problem. Very rarely went to the movies. I don't think I went commercial movies. I don't think I went to a half a dozen in my whole 4 years, but I did happen to go that Sunday afternoon. I do not remember what I saw, but when we came out of the movies, a group of us went together from college. Everybody was talking. What had happened? We found out then that the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor. What a blow. Wow. What a shock. Big question mark. What was it going to mean to all of us? It was scary. We were all frightened to death. But since more not knowing what was going to happen than anything else, what was the country going to do? How are we going to survive? I was a pacifist when I was a teenager, and I was converted very promptly when the war began. So we were going to fight back or else. And we didn't know a lot. We didn't have an idea what was happening in Europe when the Nazis took over.